Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley. Thank you so much for clicking download on episode number 171. We'll be getting started here in just a moment, but a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, we always say it at the end of the episode, but I figured I'd try saying it at the top of the episode. Please go on iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. We say it every episode, but we're not just saying it to say it. It really does help us out in the rankings. So if you haven't taken time to do that and you really love the podcast, that would help us out. This week, if you haven't gotten enough of me for some reason, I was lucky enough to be a guest on Vanessa Gritton's outstanding podcast. It's called Take a Walk, that she does over there at the Unpopular Opinion Network. And boy, her and Adam Todd Brown, Jeff May, all those guys and girls, they do a great job over there. That episode was very fun. We talk about the history of Griffith Park, which is the biggest city park in America. It's right here in LA, and it has an insane history. So I ended up doing a couple of weeks worth of research, and we had a really, really good time talking about it. So head over there after you're done with this episode and check that out. Another reminder, I'm going to be coming down south and doing a couple of shows this month. You can catch me on the 18th of December. I'm going to be at Beer and Comedy Night at Sweetwater Brew Co. in Atlanta, Georgia. That is Joe Pettis' show. That's one of the funnest shows in the city. Doors are at 7 p.m. The show starts at 8 p.m. On the 20th, I'm doing a big homecoming show. If you like this podcast, come and check us out. It's going to be me, Mr. Goodnight, along with Joe Raines, frequent guest here, as well as David Perdue and Sam Severin, two of my favorite Atlanta-based comedians. They're all hilarious. That's going to be a fun show. It's at Halftime Bar and Grill, which is in downtown Auburn, Alabama, my hometown. The show is going to start at 9 p.m. and it's free, so come out and see us. December 22nd, you can catch me at Epic Comedy Hour at the Flying Monkey Theater at Low Mill. That's in Huntsville, Alabama. The show starts at 8 p.m. and the tickets are $8. You're going to want to go ahead and get tickets because that thing sells out. And the next day, December 23rd, Yellowhammered. And this is a bit different note here. We have actually changed the venue. So Yellowhammered this year will be happening at the Syndicate Lounge in Birmingham, Alabama. The dinner starts at 7 p.m. The show starts at 8 p.m. And you can find out more information about that just as soon as we get it up on our Facebook page, Yellowhammered, YELLAHAMMERED, or on Twitter at Yellowhammered, spelled the same way. And, actually, one last thing. Speaking of Alabama, if you live in Alabama and you're registered to vote, December 12th, special election. And you know what? I'll just say it. I would like Doug Jones to win. So vote for Doug Jones. If you want to vote for Roy Moore, do something else that day. How about that? That's all the announcements. And now, this is the Goods from the Woods podcast, episode number 171. Don't hassle the Hoff.
Now fix to start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day.
The Goods from the Woods.
Hot damn!
Welcome to the Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley.
I'm Pat Riley.
Mr. Goodnight, the man of the hour, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
And it's just the three of us today, but it's a very, very special day. Pat will tell us what's happening on the show today. Although, if you click download, you know what's about to fucking happen.
Yeah, but appearances can be deceiving.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to find throughout this episode is, if you actually listen to our Chris Gaines episode, this is going to be somewhat similar, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go into a kind of a somewhat deep dive into a classic album, right? Think of it as VH1's classic albums, but the Goods from the Woods classic albums.
But no one involved with the album is on the show.
Yeah.
And we have better albums.
And we've tried. We definitely tried to get some of the people involved in this album, but we also love celebrity albums.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was thinking back to our celebrity albums episode, and we did not get into this particular.
We didn't even mention Hasselhoff on the celebrity albums episode.
Yes. So think of this as the Goods from the Woods classic celebrity albums.
Yeah.
And what it is looking for the best by David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
So it's looking for ... the best by David Hasselhoff. Now, the reason why we're doing this is actually the thing that inspired it is that listener of the show, friend of the show, Tom Glazier, buddy of mine, recently had a heart attack.
Okay.
And he's doing good. He had a heart attack right after Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, no.
So it's just like, you know.
Gee,
Don't try the turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
Get well soon, Tom. We're thinking about you now.
But yeah, he's doing okay.
Okay, that's good.
But me and him used to listen to this album pretty frequently because this album is absolutely magical, as you will see, as is David Hasselhoff's musical career.
By the way, we should start off by asking, obviously you guys listen to this record pretty heavily. Mr. Goodnight, what experience do you have with David Hasselhoff? Because I have almost none.
Well, I remember from Knight Rider.
Well, no, I mean his
Initially.
his music career.
His music?
I mean, I've seen Baywatch and I've seen Knight Rider, but I've literally the only Hasselhoff music I know is whenever they show on VH1, they'd have those specials where like biggest moments in rock, and they would say like they talk about the Berlin Wall, and they would just have that they'd cut to him in his jacket that was the Chris Jericho jacket made out of lights, and it was just him going, "I've been looking for freedom," and that's literally all the music of David Hasselhoff I've ever heard.
Well, Hasselhoff, was big on TV, syndicated TV with
absolutely.
Baywatch and things like this.
Yeah.
But he was always sort of frustrated, it seems, because he could never get his musical career quite as over as his TV acting career was.
Yeah.
And the both of you are hitting on some of the major points that define David Hasselhoff as a musician. I first heard this album actually because I think I've referenced this before on the show. I coached Special Olympics for about 7 years. And one of the athletes that I coached, her name was Leslie. And Leslie had Down syndrome, and she was like a ball of sunshine. She was one of those people that had like an infectious laugh. She was like super short, and she had like fire engine red hair. And she just like, one of those people that like anything would make her laugh, and it would be like the laugh was just like,
Right.
And she loved David Hasselhoff.
Wow. Okay.
She loved David Hasselhoff, and and I remember when her parents got a computer.
As an actor or as a musician?
Both.
Wow.
Because when her parents got a computer,
She celebrated all of his fields.
One of the things that they had me do was burn a copy of Looking for ... the Best by David Hasselhoff. So this is where I got familiar with this album. And let me tell you, it is, you think that there's certain artists that work within one genre. David Hasselhoff hits all the genres. He is a jack of all trades. But okay, so a little bit about David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff, I think, if I remember correctly, he had an aspiration to do Broadway musicals.
Okay.
So he was trained in the way of wanting to do Broadway musicals, right? So singing was part of his repertoire. And he went to Cal Arts and was trained at Cal Arts. And actually, it's weird how he kind of fits within. So he was born in Baltimore. My wife's from Baltimore, right? He lived in Jacksonville, Florida, and I lived outside of Jacksonville, Florida. He went to high school in Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta. He went to Cal Arts. My wife went to Cal Arts. It's weirdly kind of like
strange how y'all's life parodies that.
Of Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
So, but he was one of those guys that like kind of wanted to do like musical theater and kind of fashioned himself a guy that could sing and act and dance, like an old song and dance man, essentially, right? But David Hasselhoff was also a tall, hunky guy with lots of chest hair, and I don't think the singing thing or the Broadway thing worked.
When you've got a lot of chest hair and a talking car, it's hard to get the recording industry to take you seriously as you should.
Absolutely. So there's I want to sum up David Hasselhoff around 2 dates. And a lot of the source material for this, I actually did read parts of his autobiography, his ghostwritten autobiography.
Oh, you were the one.
Making Waves, it was called.
Of course.
Making Waves. And
It was written in 1994?
It was written in 90, it said 97. He said that he wanted to have the last word on David Hasselhoff.
So was this post Baywatch Nights?
He was going to kill himself.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I'm going to have the last word.
But he has it's split into 2 sections. Driven, which is about his rise to create Baywatch, right? So it's the point in which
to make Baywatch?
Well, no, but there's that
it's
car
in
reference.
Life phases.
I would
So it
assume
goes
the
from
driven part would be the Knight Rider
him
section, and then Making
being-
Waves would be the Baywatch section.
So the beginning is him from his birth to the formation of the idea, the seed of Baywatch, right?
During which period he was driven.
He was driven, and then he found success. The second part, beached.
So it's sort of like a
It was
parallel.
published in first published in 1997, and then
It's like he that is not busy being born is busy dying. You're either driving or you're beached.
I hate this cover, by the way.
He looks like Eric Bischoff.
Oh my god! We'll put this on our Twitter. We're at the Goods Pod. And the cover of Making Waves, an autobiography, is
the thing that scares me about David Hasselhoff is when I grow my hair out, I do have the same hair texture as David Hasselhoff.
There's a lot of parallels between you and
I know.
Hasselhoff.
It's very.
Could it be from a past life or something?
I'm part Hasselhoff. We're all part Hasselhoff. But yeah, it's for a lot of. I did consult the biography, which you can get on Google Books for $6, $5.99. So
Which is a bargain.
It's a bargain, and it's kind of a little bit self-aggrandizing. The document that is his autobiography. One part in it, he talks about how he was at Madison Square Garden and he was watching a boxing match. He is seated by Muhammad Ali, Lou Rawls, and Sidney Poitier. And all three
what a
of them,
fucking weird row.
and all three of them, basically, like Ali's just like, "You're pretty, Knight Rider, but you aren't as pretty as me," right? Lou Rawls says something that's complimentary to him, and then Sidney Poitier points out, "It's like you don't age, you don't ever age, David Hasselhoff."
And this is from Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, but then he cuts it. It's like, but fame is a double-edged sword. Like it's one of those sorts of things.
First of all, there's no way that happened.
Oh, no. David Hasselhoff has quite the connection to Lou Rawls. You may remember he was on Baywatch Nights as a regular cast member.
Oh no, I didn't know that. First of all, what a weird Sgt. Pepper's album cover that is with those fuckers all sitting together. But
Yeah.
also, I love
Who's
that.
the white
And he
guy?
doesn't
Find
say-
the white guy.
And he doesn't say who the fight was, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I was at a fight, and I was
Yeah,
just-
because
was this in a parking lot?
yeah, it's just like, yeah, they didn't say like
didn't say
Roberto
who-
Duran versus
Yeah, because a fact checker could easily confirm
Yeah.
that this didn't happen.
but it's one of those and also there's interspersed in there other kind of like rumination chapters called Traveling with the Hoff. So it's Traveling with the Hoff part 1, part 2, part 3.
Fucking hate this
I
guy.
like the fact he's got a nickname for
The Hoff.
himself. Like
Yeah.
The Hoff.
But there's 2 dates that I want to before we get into the album, there's 2 dates that I want to really focus
So
on.
he was the Hoff early on.
Yeah.
That's not like a
No, he
nickname
embraces the idea of being the Hoff.
right.
He might be 2 different guys, right? He might be a guy who is like, when he's business, he's David Hasselhoff. But when he's like living life and being creative and like singing,
Yeah.
Just like on Knight Rider when he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
2 identities as
Yeah.
himself and the bad guy that was just like him except that he had a beard.
yeah, and there was Kit and Carr. Yeah, that's
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, so
He's a duality.
I was gonna say, so he's Chris Gaines.
Yeah,
again.
exactly. So the 2 dates that I want to focus on are December 31st, 1989 and June 17th, 1994.
Okay.
December 31st, 1989 was the day where the event where Rivers was referencing of David Hasselhoff at the Berlin Wall in a cherry picker with a light up jacket and a piano scarf singing Looking for Freedom.
I, for some reason, thought he just happened to be there on the night the wall came down. You're saying it was the next month.
Yeah.
It was like a big party
they had
threw.
opened up. Yeah, so it was on New Year's. It was on New Year's Eve.
Oh, see, I'd always thought just like, and that was the thing I always
Would he
found
just happen
weird.
to be there? Hey, the wall's going down. Quick, get Hasselhoff.
No, I honestly thought like either he had just happened to be there because, as we know from watching Norm Macdonald for years, he's huge in Germany.
And he legitimately is.
Or
This is, yeah.
or that he'd done the Phil Collins thing and taken the Concorde, like, oh shit, the wall's coming down. Germany needs me.
Yeah.
To the Concorde.
Yeah, so this was the East Germans had already
So this was
started
planned.
letting people through. Yeah.
They invited him. He didn't just show up with a microphone and a fucking sparkly jacket.
Yeah,
like,
so this is very much
take me to the wall.
I mean, the wall still was up, right? There was already but the East Germans had started letting people through, right? So the wall wasn't separating.
Because it was brought down in November of '89. The wall, they busted through the wall in November.
Yeah, so it was something where.
What was the exact date again?
I'm looking it up.
Because I think the exact fall of the Berlin Wall wasn't that it fell down; it's that they had started letting people
that's
through
the fall of the ball.
checkpoint.
Yeah. People could go
The
through.
fall was the fall of like the Iron Curtain, not the literal fall of the wall itself.
So the Berlin Wall fell on November 9th, 1989.
But the wall was still there. You could go from one side
right,
to the
but
other.
no, but the famous footage that you see of guys with hammers knocking down the wall is November 9th, 1989.
Yeah.
That's when the East German government was like, okay, well, we're not going to shoot people for going over the wall anymore, and then that's when people came out with
it was
hammers.
it hadn't been demolished yet, but there was still
it hadn't been. It didn't get demolished for
1990.
It took a while. Yeah, it was a big ass wall.
But yeah, but it was for New Year's. So yeah, he was there performing, and the thing is that people joke like, David Hasselhoff is big in Germany, but David Hasselhoff is legitimately big in Germany, and Looking for Freedom was actually a song that he talks about it in grandiose terms in the book, but in actuality it was a song that did so it's Looking for Freedom is actually an English language rendition of a somewhat traditional German song, and it was something that came over to the East Germans and into Eastern Europe, and it was a hit on the other side kind of unofficially, right?
Yeah.
So it was a song that was really, really popular. But yeah, if you have the chance, look it up on YouTube. It's absurd in a way when you really think about it, because he's wearing this light up jacket. He's got this piano scarf. He's in a cherry picker. And people are going insane.
It's like they couldn't get Michael Jackson, so they got him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Here we go. We'll put this on our Twitter, by the way, if you want to see it. This is David Hasselhoff live at the Berlin Wall.
One morning in June, some 20 years ago.
Wow.
Thing that money could buy, but freedom I had none.
I've been looking for freedom.
Wow.
And people are going insane. They're at Brandenburg Gate and they're going completely
And they're
nuts.
singing along too.
Can you blame them?
Yeah.
If you're in East Germany and you've been brought up on Karl Marx your whole life,
Right.
and you see this, what's Karl Marx got on this shit?
I mean,
Yeah.
just what you just said. You're looking at a hunky TV star wearing an elaborate get-up. He's got a crazy scarf. He's got a
light up jacket like he's a hunky Christmas tree.
Right, and he's
in a cherry picker?
He's
Like
in a
Michael
cherry picker.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Just symbolically, he's elevated above everybody else. So you're looking at the antithesis of communism here. This is pure capitalism.
Looking for Freedom is the first track on Looking for ... the best David Hasselhoff. But this song was his biggest hit. This song was actually legitimately he had an album beforehand called Night Rocker in 1985 that was some of those songs he performed on Night Rocker were in the show Knight Rider. It was a bit of synergy, but there was for some reason he was extremely popular in Germany. And
do we know why that is?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing that's kind
Could
of
it
a
have been
question.
just that they got the show over there?
I think that's one of the things. That was a show that was popular over there.
Like Alf, for example, I'm not kidding, was popular in Germany.
Yeah.
It could have just been one of them shows that was just popular in Germany.
Yeah, and Walker, Texas Ranger was really popular in parts of Latin America. There is certain shows that come over to, into international syndication. They become popular for some really strange reason. There isn't some sort of element that can be explained. It's almost like flukiness that
it just
this
catches
show-
on.
So this is from the Hollywood Reporter. I just I just typed in a simple Google search. Why is David Hasselhoff? Big
Oh, you
in
didn't
Germany?
ask Jeeves?
Let's see. So this says, actually, the hero worship began not in Germany, but neighboring Austria.
Which actually does make sense because they're really into like so the biggest
High
pop star-
culture?
Well, no. Like the biggest pop star in
Bach,
in
Mozart, Hasselhoff. Yeah.
no, the biggest pop star in Austria was Falco. Right, Rock Me Amadeus Falco, right? And
It wasn't Taco.
Taco is
Taco's German. Never
no,
mind.
Taco's actually Indonesian.
What?
He's Dutch.
I thought it was Mexican food.
Yeah, no, Taco is his real name. Yeah,
What?
he was
We're learning all kinds
granted
of
with
stuff
an
today.
amazing first name, Taco. Yeah, but
Wow.
he's Dutch Indonesian.
Wow. Well,
But yeah, so they're really into that sort of level of campiness, you know. So I mean, Hasselhoff and Falco,
Like what is that Europop thing?
yeah, the Eurovision Song Contest, that sort of stuff.
I could easily see Hasselhoff in that.
so,
Oh, you'll hear some songs that definitely fit
yeah.
within this.
So this says, this is from a Hollywood Reporter, and I love how grandiose this is. The love affair between David Hasselhoff and the Germanic people has, for 3 decades now, been one of the great riddles of global pop culture.
Sure.
Could it be his Teutonic surname that might have something to
That's
do
what I
with
was kind
it?
of thinking. I was like, is he German? Like, that's definitely a German sort of name. In 1985, Hasselhoff's debut album, Night Rocker, unexpectedly shot up to the #1 charts in Austria. And this is from Hasselhoff himself. Quote, I said, that's impossible. It sold 7 copies here in America, and I bought 5, and my mom bought the other 2.
That's humble. That's the humbleness that's all about Hasselhoff right there, right?
Not to mention the humor.
It's kind of funny, right? Where there are those, like if you watch Searching for Sugar Man, it's like, you know, Rodriguez's albums were like songs of you know, rebellion and stuff in South Africa. And it's like, oh man, but like
Yeah.
the songs of like rebellion in Austria were David Hasselhoff.
Right. well, and this paragraph, this sort of makes sense, and this sort of goes to what I was just saying. Let's see, it says around the time the Berlin Wall fell, when the country's first privately owned TV network RTL began broadcasting American programs, including Knight Rider, Hasselhoff's action series about a detective who drives a talking car. Even though Hasselhoff is of German descent, it wasn't his ethnic connection that resonated. Quote, I think Germans rather like the Americanness about him.
Yeah.
So he's the symbol of capitalism. He's a guy who's hunky and he's got a badass car.
He's 6'4".
He does whatever the
he has
fuck
a
he
very,
wants.
you know, he has the features. I mean, he looks like, you know, if somebody was to kind of pinpoint what an American looks like, he's tanned, you know,
Yep.
he's got good hair, leather jacket, kind of a lantern jaw.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, he looks.
He looks what they figure an American looks like.
Yeah.
Jeans.
Yeah.
He's got
Leather jacket.
leather jacket,
Piano
jeans,
scarf.
piano scarf. You know, American stuff.
So that's the first song on Looking for ... the Best by David Hasselhoff. I mean, it's a
I want to hear the studio version because we just heard like the.
Oh, this is great because this clip, which is on German television, also features David Hasselhoff's impeccable dancing. Look, he's on
he's sitting on the motorcycle.
Oh, he's so cool.
Now just watch him move.
Wow.
Gute Nacht, David Hasselhoff.
This sounds like a Chevy commercial from the 80s.
Yeah.
I get it, man. I kind of get the whole like, you know,
Yeah.
you're waiting in a damn bread line, but you got your illegal transistor radio the
Yeah.
Stasi doesn't want you to have, and you hear this coming through the airwaves.
And America's a land of leather jackets and talking cars.
Radio
David
Free
Hasselhoff-
Europe just pumping into your head, man.
I mean, because David Hasselhoff is a handsome guy, and he's friendly looking. Like, you look at him, and he's like a friendly looking guy. And he just, but it's like he dances like hell.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, like, does kind of relate, because if you watch, like, European dance shows or European disco type shows
Yeah.
where they were doing, like, American, they were, like, they danced so horribly, and it's, like, arrhythmic, like, stunted, jaunty dancing, like, kind of fits with how, you know, if you're in Italy or Germany and you're dancing to like American pop music, that's,
Right.
you know, that's how you're going to dance.
Also, I should say he looks like Swayze too. That's the other thing.
That's a good
him and
point.
him and Swayze could be brothers, at least at this point in 1989.
He's like brunette Swayze.
He's a brunette Swayze.
Yeah, he's
totally.
got the mullet. He's looking good.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, dude.
Looking
I get
better
it.
than good, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
like, it would suck ass to live in East Germany, but you hear this coming over the airwaves. You see this dude on TV with his motorcycle in front of like.
I'd be like,
Yeah.
wow, what else have they been hiding
and,
from
Yeah.
us?
and as I said before, Looking for Freedom is actually a English language adaptation of a German song, right?
Ah.
So it's kind of has that resonance.
Oh, so there's a chance that this song was sort of designed for German audience. Let's see. Looking for Freedom is a song by German music producer Jack White. No, not that one.
Wait, I saw that on the listing, and I just had this amazing sort of vision that Jack White was the one that was responsible for writing such great hits as "Do the Limbo Dance,"
Oh boy.
which we will get into. But
Let's see. This says originally. Okay, so it's like a cover basically. Originally released in 1978 with German singer Mark Seeberg. When performed later that year in Germany under the name Auf der Straße nach Süden, On the Road to the South by Tony Marshall, it became a hit in Germany. 10 years later, re-released the song with American singer and actor David Hasselhoff in the spring of 1989. The song held the #1 position in West Germany for 8 weeks and
Switzerland
for 4. So
yeah, I mean
that makes sense. So it is like a German song.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other and this is something that you know, and we're going to get to the songs, but the album, because this is about the album, it's about the music,
Right.
guys. But just to give you an idea, the other important date to characterize David Hasselhoff's career is June 17th, 1994.
Who could ever forget?
Is that? Wait, I'm so. Hold on. Is that the day of the Bronco chase?
Well, to the world, it was the day of the Bronco chase, but to a few select people.
Originally, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened on that
Confirmed
day.
that is the day of the Bronco chase.
Well, yes, but also the day of David Hasselhoff and his friends from Baywatch made its premiere on pay-per-view.
Indeed, it is.
Wait.
Because as we know, it was the first day of the '94 World Cup.
The Bronco chase, the World Cup, Arnold Palmer's last day.
Well,
at
but don't forget,
Masters,
nobody knew the Bronco chase was going to
the
happen.
Knicks and the Rockets.
Let me get to an article that appeared on June 17th, 1994 in Entertainment Weekly. And I'm going to read this in full because reading this in 2017 is one of the most surreal documents. Baywatch star David Hasselhoff used to get bent out of shape about the jokes Jay Leno and David Letterman make about his unlikely status as a pop music uber star in Europe. But these days, David Hasselhoff is singing a different tune.
That's also Norm Macdonald's joke. It has nothing to do with those other two.
It's free advertising, he says, from Hong Kong, where he's putting in an appearance for the opening of
just
Planet
bragging.
Hollywood. I say keep it coming. I love it.
He's not in Hong Kong either. He's just on the phone in his fucking underwear in his apartment in Culver City, just being like, yeah, I'm in Hong Kong.
One of Germany's top recording acts for a decade, the American-born Hasselhoff, is yet to translate his musical success stateside. He's trying to change that by crooning his way through David Hasselhoff and his Baywatch friends. The live 90-minute pay-per-view special features his fellow lifeguards from the globally popular syndicated series, Pamela Anderson and David Charvet, as guests at a male/female bathing suit beauty contest. Winners get a guest part on Baywatch, naturally.
I never realized it had a beauty contest. I thought it was just a concert.
He'll be joined by Marla Maples Trump for a country duet.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Nepotism alert.
No.
The event originates from Atlantic City's Trump Castle.
No.
Contrary to press reports, Trump says her hubby doesn't mind her working. Quote, he's okay with it, she jokes, just as long as I have the dinner ready by 7. Mounting this special has cost Hasselhoff $500,000, so he doubts it will generate a Trump-like fortune. He's already a wealthy man as executive producer of Baywatch, which is about to launch an as-of-yet untitled spin-off, which is Baywatch Nights.
Yep.
This isn't about making money, he explains. I just want people to know I can sing. And Hasselhoff has a firm sense of his target crowd. I see myself doing the stuff that Michael Bolton does, or country pop. I'm not looking for the Guns N' Roses audience, he says. Then again, they're probably not looking for me either. Unbeknownst to David Hasselhoff, there was a little event that happened.
Meanwhile, in Brentwood, O.J. Simpson murdered 2 people.
And he was in a
very low-speed chase.
with Al Callings in a Ford Bronco down the 405.
Which conflicted exactly with the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because this thing, I can tell you from personal experience, it was heavily advertised on cable.
Absolutely. I mean, he was talking about in the sense that you know, he put $500,000 into it. The actual event, now I couldn't find an actual buy rate for it, but the event ended up losing $1.5 million.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wait, this is the promo.
Yeah.
This is from 1994. David Hasselhoff.
Even Pamela Anderson and David Charvet could
Hi,
not.
This is David Hasselhoff. You know me as Chief Lifeguard Lieutenant Mitch Buchanan from the hit series.
No, we don't. No one knows your character's name.
This is like Troy McClure.
Music. Please help me jumpstart summer. with my first American concert. David Hasselhoff and my friends from Baywatch, and my very special guest, Marla Maples Trunks. And my Baywatch friends.
No! What? Who the fuck is this for?
This is going to be the biggest entertainment event of the decade.
You ask who it's for. And I think you put out
It's not for Guns N' Roses.
It's not for Guns N' Roses fans, but there was a big audience for like adult contemporary like that.
Do you like
thing.
music that kicks ass? This one's not for you.
Well, no, it was for like meemos and mamas. Like remember Rod Stewart was big at the time. Fabio.
Rod Stewart unplugged
But do meemos watch Baywatch though? That's
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. There's
even though
hunky
it's
dudes.
lurid.
Yeah, there's hunky dudes.
Well, some of them remembered him from Knight Rider.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fair. I don't know. I guess I don't know what Baywatch's target demographic was outside of
Horny teenagers.
Well, here's the thing.
But
Baywatch
it's like
may have been horny, but it was G-rated at the same time.
Yeah, because there were a
Yeah.
lot of the plot lines were very sort of like family friendly.
Incredibly family
yeah.
friendly. There was an episode because he's a lifeguard. David Hasselhoff delivered a baby on the beach, and this woman never took her bathing suit off.
Yeah. There was an episode where he has to save El Gigante Giant Gonzalez from
Manny the Pelican Man was his character's
Indeed.
name. He was a good actor.
Yeah. But no, so it's like, and also there's a thing like with professional wrestling in the South, like grannies loved it because it provided an opportunity where you can watch dudes without shirts that look good, that are hunky, and it's like something that isn't lurid.
Yeah, like what's his name? Like Tim McGraw, or a country singer.
Oh yeah.
So he's looking for the country pop crowd or the Michael Bolton crowd.
Yeah.
Needless to say, O.J. Simpson got in the way, and
That is incredible. I
know.
had no idea, man.
absolutely. And that was something that he pinpointed it as like this was supposed to be the event where David Hasselhoff was going to launch himself from being a European pop superstar, German but like Central Europe essentially.
Yeah.
Into being a American star.
Yeah.
It was
And
like act of God stuff.
Yeah, it was. It was almost like fait accompli that like it was gonna not work. There was gonna be some sort of weird thing that would come about that would lead to it. But it's just like when you read in 2017, it's like it was in Atlantic City at Trump Castle, Marla Maples Trump, all that sort of like weird stuff that's kind of wrapped up in it. It's just like
it's. I mean, it might as well be wrapped up in a weekly world news.
Yeah,
So
it does. I mean,
Even then, it was a little bit odd because it was sort of like, what is this? Is this music? Is
Yeah.
this girls? What is this?
yeah, and I mean
what was Pamela Anderson doing in this batch?
Cash waiting for that check to cash.
Yeah. I mean, it was to draw people in, I guess, because there was the bathing suit contest. So it was not only just him performing, but there was like a bathing suit contest, and there was like whoever wins the bathing suit contest will appear on Baywatch, I guess, in a guest starring role.
It's like he didn't have the concert to just give a straight up concert, so he tried to make it into like live Baywatch event or something.
It was like Jesus, like they would have those Brady Bunch specials on TV, right?
Oh,
Where
like
it
the
would be-
variety show.
Yeah, the
thing.
variety
Yeah.
show where they would have like the Brady Bunch kids singing, and they would have little sketches that were based around being in the Brady Bunch, and then they would occasionally have other stars that would come in.
Yeah, like the Baywatch variety show on stage.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those are the two events, and that kind of that was the nail that kind of made it in the coffin of the idea of David Hasselhoff crossing over into
O.J. Simpson killed three people basically.
Killed OJ's push.
Yeah.
I mean, Hasselhoff's push.
Yeah, he scooped his heat. But what we have is the music, and what we have is an incredible collection of 18 songs. We've already heard one, Looking for Freedom. Now, there are some other ones that I want to focus on. One of the ones that I want to focus on is one, I believe, from 1994, and it is called, or 91, I'm not sure. It's the early 90s. It's called Do the Limbo Dance. Now, if you remember from our Celebrity Albums episode, we listened to some of Steven Seagal's reggae music.
Oh God, is this reggae?
It's more of like a tropical soca feel.
Is there such a genre as limbo music?
Yeah, there has to be. Like during the 1950s, I think there was,
Because Hasselhoff was a little late to that fad.
I just thought limbo was people chanting, "How low can you go? Good night, how low?" Can't like that, right?
No, it's a dance where you get low.
Oh, there's no sound of a wave crashing.
It's like the end of Planet of the Apes.
You maniac! This sounds like This sounds like Barney the dinosaur music.
Barney music you can shake your ass to, though.
Oh, you know what it is? Call now, Girls Gone Wild.
Let's go to Jamaica.
Flying to Montego Bay.
Let's go to Jamaica.
Maybe find a
La 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 la. Let's go to Jamaica. Bum dum dum da da dum dum dum. It's Polly Wally Doodle.
Everybody sing.
limbo cool, limbo fine. Everybody gets a chance. Come on and move your body down to the limbo dance.
This is good. It's like children's music, but it's good.
It just sounds like PBS
It
music.
sounds like something on Caillou. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd get high and listen to this thing in a second. Makes me want to do the damn limbo right now.
I heard a whistle.
Oh, how low can I get?
This is bonky. This is bonkers.
It's and in the video, there's a video for this.
Oh my god.
David Hasselhoff is singing the verse when he's in a hammock in like a white linen outfit. Like they're kind of like, I'm going to.
Oh, so he's dressed like Miami Vice.
Yeah, but it's like he's not wearing a shirt.
Oh, it's
you
like
know?
it's like yacht rock Hasselhoff.
He's like just suave. But he's in a hammock and he's wearing eyeliner. So he's got like the Undertaker eyeliner underneath. You know?
Yeah.
So his eyes are looking really pop and he's just like crooning. But it's like he's like trying to be like hot and sexy,
Right,
talking about
right.
the limbo dance. But it's one of those things where it's kids music.
Yeah,
you know?
it sounds like kids' music.
Yeah, Do the Limbo Dance actually was very popular. There's a lot of translations of it on YouTube for different countries. So anyway, there's other songs on this.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we got to hear them.
Hot Shot City. It's a rocker. It's a little bit of a rocker. And we don't know where Hot Shot City is. It's almost like Butttown, like, you know, the Iggy Pop song.
Monday
where-
you're new, but Friday you're through.
In Butttown. But this is Hot Shot City on a Saturday night.
Oh, okay. Well, this is a rocker, but of course it can't rock.
It's Hasselhoff.
It can't
yeah.
rock too hard because you don't want to attract the Guns N' Roses crowd.
Look out. Saturday night.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. We're rewinding.
Look out.
Look at.
Saturday night.
He's setting the scene, Rivers.
Oh yeah.
When the sun goes down on a Saturday night,
Yeah.
you will find her
In your pink Cadillac. Like, this is basically,
Yeah, that's what it is. All these songs are kind of
you can feel you can
run loose with copyrights.
yeah. They're all kind of like covers or pastiche on something else.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting about David Hasselhoff is that I don't think any real instruments are used in his music.
So it's all synthesizers.
Yeah.
That part sounds like big old jet airliner.
Yeah. I mean, it's like bits and pieces. The chorus of this is great.
Oh.
I can't get to it though. It's like one of the things where he drags it out. Here it is.
Yes. Yes.
Hotter than rock and roll.
Damn. He's bigger than the business.
Yeah. So yeah, Hot Shot City is so
Hot Shot City.
Hot Shot City.
That By the way, that chorus. Wait, what's happening with this?
This part
going
sounds a
back.
little bit like Dire Straits.
Yeah, I was thinking it kind of sounds like a slowed down version of the Ultimate Warriors theme
Yeah,
song.
you know what
Yeah.
all this shit sounds like is Carmen. This sounds like a Carmen record.
Satan bite the dust.
It's all like pastiche, and it's all made with like a Casio keyboard.
Right. I'm sorry. I want to hear this just one more time because it's fucking hilarious.
This song
Saturday
is the
night.
balls. Yeah.
This part right here.
Look out. Saturday night.
There, that's all I wanted. Yeah.
Saturday night.
Look out. Because
Isn't that the night Knight Rider was on?
I don't remember, but I can
Ooh,
imagine him
probably.
I can imagine him getting into the Michael Knight outfit to
Yeah.
sing this particular
Just
song.
that shit starts. He's just like, ooh, yeah. Saturday
Look
night,
out.
NBC,
Look
8 p.m.,
out.
7 Central,
Knight Rider.
Night Ride.
So yeah, Hot Shot City, everybody.
That's awesome shit.
So
man.
he's a rocker, right? He's also a rocker, but he's also a lover
Oh, God. Oh, God.
in multiple languages.
Wow.
So
An international lover.
international lover is David Hasselhoff. He has one song that if you've ever watched the movie Euro Trip, you might be familiar with it. It's called Do. And this is David Hasselhoff, and Do is German for you, obviously.
Oh, it's not D-O-O.
No, it's not D-O-O. And it's not a verb like do. You do.
Yeah.
It's not Du hast Mitch and he cut the title down, is it?
Yeah, no. But this is him showing his chops in German,
Okay.
which is rare. You know, he only has a few German songs.
I saw he had one called Wir zwei Alien.
Yeah,
I just want to hear him sing in German.
yeah. Well, he doesn't really sing in this song. He kind of like talks a little bit.
Deinen Augen steht so vieles, was mir sagt. Du fühlst genauso wie ich. Du bist das
Du.
das zu mir gehört. Lebe nur noch für dich.
Almost sounds like French Canadian.
Yeah, yeah.
Du bist alles
It's like kind of a Schlegel.
auf der Welt.
He's saying like you are my only love or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
It's powerful
Wait.
in German
Yeah.
sound.
Wait.
I
Wait. This is the point.
Oh,
That's-
here we go. I gotta say, when he sings "do," the only image that comes to my mind is the poop emoji. No.
This song is really a celebration of pronouns.
Yeah.
Because every line in it is like a pronoun, but like really have ish, jai, do. You know, it's
That's smart because it makes the song personal.
yeah.
yeah, you can teach somebody German about this. It's
Yeah.
like,
It
I mean-
overcomes language barriers to the universal
Yeah.
language of being a stud.
One of the
you
fine.
can- if you ask somebody, "Are you German?" It's "Bist du Deutschlander?"
We one of the finest moments I ever had, I think in the history of radio, is when we convinced a DJ at Album 88 in
Oh man, shout out to WRAS.
yeah the RIP
Yeah, I know, man. Fuck you, NPR.
to play Do on on Album 88. The was it 100,000 watt Georgia State like radio station. So basically carrying out for 60, 70, maybe 100 miles.
On a cold night in Auburn, you can hear this college radio station coming from Atlanta. And-
we
yeah.
got them to play Do
That's
on
awesome.
at like 11 o'clock. So I always like to imagine people would sometimes play it on at parties because they would play really good music.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
That like in the middle of a party.
Album
just-
88 had the Psychobilly Freakout.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
a great show. They just played like Horton Heat and Mojo Nixon and Hank 3 and shit like that.
Yeah, and I would just imagine people just like having a good time listening to music at a party, and then Do comes on.
That is the magic of radio, though.
Yeah.
There's
it really
somebody
is.
far away actually listening to this
Yeah,
shit.
totally.
Yeah, so there's Do. There's also Do. But he also knows how to put together a love song that's a little bit more dance friendly.
Okay.
And this one appeared on the same album as Looking for Freedom. So this is 1989. It's called Je t'aime, means I love you. So Je t'aime means I love you. Now, this song is supposed to be a good little, European disco, almost Italo disco sounding song. What it actually sounds like is one of the fight levels in Street Fighter 2. So you can imagine, Blanca and Balrog just duking it out to this song.
Well, we got to hear it now. This is Je t'aime means I love you. Wow, that's spot on, man. This is what's playing when the camera zooms up the skyscraper to the top where it says Street Fighter 2.
It's the World Warrior, man.
It was late in the night, and I was looking around at all the usual.
I like that he has to establish they're in Paris, so you know Je t'aime is French. We were in Paris, I'm singing in French.
I spoke a little Francais, so I gave it a try.
This is very Broadway in a lot of ways.
It is. Stand with me, mon chéri.
He only speaks a little Francais, apparently.
Yeah.
This is almost like educational, like he's kind of teaching as he sings what these words
But
mean.
he one of the things that you will notice about a number of his songs is that they're story songs. So he sets the scene, right? Where
I was in Paris. Yeah.
like even Looking for Freedom, it was like
I was on the Berlin Wall.
No, it's like 20 years ago, I was a rich man's son. Like it was like all these, and he has one line in there where he's like, "I worked on the farm, I got some muscle in my arm." It's just like tells
Very Broadway in a way.
Yeah. Like all of his songs are very Broadway, and
Even the way he sings is Broadway.
Yeah. He also has a song called "Flying on the Wings of Tenderness."
What? He's covering all the bases on this record.
And I mean, and what you see with these kind of greatest hits is that nothing really fits a distinctive genre, right? He jumps between genre to genre. Even on the, Looking for Freedom does not sound like Je t'aime means I love you, but they're on the same record. They're on the same album. So he's just hitting every genre. He's just like, I'll do a little this, a little that, a little this.
Like the
that.
Monkees.
Yeah.
He's treating his music career as like a big net, trying to catch as many people as he can with his range of sound.
Flying on the Wings of Tenderness.
All right.
He rhymes a lot of nesses.
Okay.
He sets the tone for love with just nesses.
He's the Loch Ness Monster of love.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't think there's a single real instrument in any of these other than keyboards.
Yeah, no, and that's great.
It's like a Jimmy Hart album. It's just maybe the Casio keyboard.
Never understand it. Billion people on this planet.
There's more than that now.
Found the one who's made for me. Just when I thought my hopes had faded, I found the one who was created to hold my hand. Share this
Hold my
world
hands. Because David Hasselhoff actually has a weird vocal intonation or verbal intonation.
We're flying on the wings of tenderness, riding the rivers of gentleness.
Tenderness, gentleness.
To the garden of love we'll flow and watch it grow together.
Yeah. Wow. Wait.
Or this sound.
Castle out of all.
We'll build a castle out of honesty.
What? Room with the harmony.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds like the type of song that would be popular in a place where English isn't a first language.
Right,
So
well,
people
I mean-
wouldn't be able to understand how terrible the lyrics are.
Right. Well, it's even the title itself, "Flying on the Wings of Tenderness." It's
Oh, so
almost,
you have a problem with Mark Spiro's lyrics?
You know, I'm down with the Hoff, but I have to say this one song I think is a little like, who is this supposed to appeal to?
right. Well,
Except people who don't speak English.
well, that's what I was gonna say. "Flying on the Wings of Tenderness." It almost sounds like one of those translations from another language
Yeah,
where it
yeah.
doesn't. The
yeah,
translation
build a
doesn't-
castle of honesty.
Well, yeah, it's like in Japanese, right, where it's like the whole thing of like stringing together words that just sound English words that sound really
Yeah,
cool.
I will be a white shroud over the Pacific and things. like
Right.
that.
the Miracle Violence Connection tag team, the badass team translate. It's like
Yeah.
these kind of weird. But yeah, the my friends actually had a band called Castle of Togetherness, which was a mishearing of one of the lyrics of the song.
the castle of togetherness.
yeah,
The
they thought it was-
hassle of togetherness.
Yeah, they thought it was the Castle of Togetherness when it was really a Castle
It's
of
a castle of
Honesty.
honesty, which makes less fucking sense.
I performed in Castle of Togetherness. Actually, I was a drummer for Castle of Togetherness.
Oh, wow.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know you was played instruments and things, Pat.
Not well, so that's why I was the drummer.
Well, I'm seeing the guitars on the wall. Adequate drummer here. I'm seeing.
Can you cover a castle of togetherness song?
So basically, the instruction I got was just do like Dennis Wilson and just like shake a maraca and hit a drum randomly. And,
He was a cool beach boy.
yeah, he was. He was.
Y'all should form a band, just the two of y'all.
Now,
Here's the thing I gotta say, and look, I am totally in the kind of David Byrne school of thought where if you watch Stop Making Sense, there's the part where he's dressed as an old man and he's interviewing himself, and the guy goes, "You don't sing very well."
I don't think you have a very good voice, but you're a singer. How do you do that? The better the singer's voice, the harder it is to believe what they're saying. So I use my faults to an advantage.
Right? So, and you think about people like Bob Dylan or somebody who has, kind of a gruffer voice that, you could read that as honesty. That said, his voice sucks.
yeah, his voice.
I'm sorry. David Hasselhoff, I love you, buddy. This is bad. Like, objectively, like, he has a not good voice. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of overdubbing on it.
Well,
Yeah.
this song in particular, I think, has a sort of mock heroic tone to it, which doesn't quite fit with a song about like personal romance.
yeah. Well, I just mean, like, if he's trying to be, get that Josh Groban, Michael Bublé, or
Even Michael Bolton.
I guess Bolton, would be of that time period. Bolton actually has the goddamn pipes to back up his schmaltzy stuff. This guy needs to. He might not be trying to appeal to the Guns N' Roses crowd, but kind of more metal punk rock is sort of the way to go if you're stuck with a voice like.
But you can't sing.
If you can't sing,
If you like to gamble, I'll tell you I'm your friends.
got to lose, and gambling's for fools.
But that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever.
And don't forget the Joker.
that's why I fuck like a beast. Yeah.
I would be kind of awesome to see David Hasselhoff with
Doing Wasp?
with the Blackie Lawless like pyrotechnic codpiece, where he just comes out and he's just like Hot Shot City on a Saturday night, and then he just has like flames shooting out of his groin.
I'm breaking the law, breaking the law. Yeah.
You all telling me you couldn't see him doing Living After Midnight,
Yeah.
though?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I hit the city about 1 a.m. Loaded.
Hot Shot City. He's throwing in his own lyrics in there.
But yeah, no.
It was a Saturday night.
So there's 18 songs on this. Now some of them I don't actually remember. Do you want to pick one that actually?
Okay.
Because we hit the ones that I think are the real class. Everybody's Sunshine is pretty crazy.
Let's see. Well, there's one on here.
There's 18 songs and these all different genres.
Yeah.
right. Let's see. There's
Now these are the greatest hits. I mean, he had album cuts too. Like, so David Hasselhoff is actually relatively prolific as a pop singer in Germany, and he was like a top top 20, top 10, released top 10 albums all the way up into the mid 2000s.
Hey, wow. So I just picked this one randomly, and it's just because, and I think I might have told this story on the show before, but there was a manager when I worked at Chick-fil-A who would come into the kitchen at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning when we were all trying to make biscuits and would yell out, "Is everybody happy?" And then we were all supposed to reply, "Yeah, man, HAPPY, woo!"
Is that a general Chick-fil-A thing, or was
Fuck
it
if
just
I
like the
know.
franchisee was just like, I read about this in a book about effective management, and
Oh, I'm sure it's the latter. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's just somebody who's like doesn't realize he's being oppressive to people who can't leave. But anyway, point is, this is a song by David Hasselhoff. I just saw the title and I was like, well, this seems fine. It's called "Is Everybody Happy?" and this is the first track of "Looking for Freedom," the album.
Is everybody happy?
God damn it!
Have some fun. Is
everybody happy.
I'm sorry. They probably played this at like Chick-fil-A management camp.
Yeah.
All right. Have y'all ever watched Thomas the Tank Engine?
This is children's music.
This sounds like the song in between cartoons.
Yeah.
Thomas and Percy, blue and green. Best of friends that you've ever seen.
Oh.
Now this is funky. I
I
actually.
kind of like this.
It's like "Leave Me Alone" kind of.
Yeah, it is.
It is like "Leave Me Alone." It sounds a little bit like that one good track on the Kenny G Duotones album we talked
Oh
about on the
yeah,
Bargain
yeah.
Bin
Slip
too.
of the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Forget your troubles and aggravations. We're gonna have ourselves a celebration. Forget your worries and
Yeah, this is definitely like an episode of a children's show where they're showing the montage of them getting the birthday party together. Kristen's almost here and we're gonna have a party. Yeah. We're gonna hide behind the couch. When she walks in, we'll all scream surprise.
yeah.
This seriously sounds like children's music.
It's all
Yeah.
children's.
I mean, a lot of it is kind of like,
I mean, shit, he was aiming for
Children?
That's the thing. He was aiming for
Or Germans, and you figure out it's the same thing, right?
Well, no. I think he could have. There's a good argument to be made that he was aiming for sort of the adult contemporary Michael Bolton, sort of crowd. Right? Missed that mark entirely, probably because he can't sing that well, right? Like Yanni and Michael Bolton can actually sing.
Yanni doesn't sing.
Yanni's a composer.
Yeah, he plays piano.
Okay, fine.
When he did Live at the Acropolis, I understand now where the Turks blew the damn thing up.
Okay, well, I've just exposed myself. I don't know what the fuck Yanni does. I've only seen his commercials. I assumed he sang. I guess we'll have to have a Yanni episode where you can fill me in on this. But I just assumed Yanni sang. I didn't know that. Okay, but my point is he was aiming for that.
Yanni presses a keyboard and it goes "Ooh," for an hour, and then he presses the next note.
Oh, so he's,
No, he has like proper piano.
oh, so he's
like,
post-rock. He's like Explosions in the Sky
No.
or Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum.
You're trying to make him sound like he's throbbing gristle or something like that. No, he's like it's like tinkly tink piano. So it's very much
Okay.
like Tesh in a way. Like
Tesh sings though.
It's like a new age kind of.
yeah, it's
vibe.
new age piano essentially. Like
Okay.
it's music that you could buy at the Nature Company or Natural Wonders.
Yeah,
at the
it's
mall.
music like you'd listen to at a candle store or something.
Right. Well, my point is that he was making sort of easy to digest adult contemporary music and aiming for that kind of soccer
He's a
mom.
composer and artist, though, Yanni.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying he's aiming for that kind of soccer mom crowd, right? He falls short of his target and hits a bunch of Germans because his,
That sounds like the case because his music sounds like something for children who barely speak English.
right, exactly. It's pretty simple and it's very a pastiche of Western music. Which, if you have a society like Eastern Germany and Western Germany to some extent that are just now kind of catching up to the times, like
But
In East Germany, they didn't know what bananas were.
So
Yeah.
So I mean, if you really want to compare it, like with the pastiche, I mean, pull up Der Kommissar by Falco. I mean, that's like very much of what was really popular music in.
Wait. Holy shit.
But yeah, this is so. If you compare like Hasselhoff to it, there is like there's a similarity.
I'm sorry, he's doing. Wow.
Like his nose looks like it's inhaled all the cocaine.
And this stuff was really big in the mid 80s. I think it's just by the time the Berlin Wall fell, this stuff wasn't popular outside of Germany.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
But this stuff was huge in like 84,
But this is
85.
like rap, essentially. Him rapping. He's running away from...
Yeah.
The rise.
You ever hide that dingle jack and come rocking to the beat? But he's like, yeah, he looks amazing.
Right, so that's kind of what's happening at this
And that
time
stuff was
period.
pretty hip in the mid 80s.
Dark Commissar was 83, but it's like a very sort of similar to like... If you listen to any like Eurovision Song Contest music, right? It's very similar. Like it's very sort of super palpable, super like simple. Like we say, oh, it's like kids music. I mean, it's the most mass appeal because it's supposed to appeal to all of the people you possibly can, and you just go to that thing of like, yeah, this is like it just is sounds that are sequenced that sound. Inviting, almost in the way in which cloud rap, like somebody like a little Yachty, right, or Migos, where it's like their bars are not necessarily anything that makes sense, but the words go together and they sound stir with an Uzi in the crock pot. It's like that doesn't,
you remember when the Beatles were trying to get over big in Germany and they did a version of My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean just because it was a song German language people knew?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I never was wondering. And they also I know they did. I
want to hold your hand.
Verliebt dich,
yeah, she liebt dich. Yeah, she loved Dick. That was how it was called. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So Hasselhoff, this album actually, you ask me, where can you get this album? You can get it on Amazon for $53.
Jesus, wow, so it's like a damn.
It's a collector's item. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's an actual collector's item. For some reason, it's this kind of elusive album, and if you go on Amazon, like there's a ton of reviews for it. It's one of those ones where I don't know if it's an album like when people review the banana slicer or something like that, or some like product, and they kind of do it ironically.
Yeah,
I don't know if this album has that sort of thing, right?
Right.
But it's like it's been reviewed like over 100 times.
Well, it probably sold a lot at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a lot of them out there. It's like how it's really hard to find first pressings of Grateful Dead or Velvet Underground because everybody held on to them.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean,
those Germans are hoarding the looking for the best.
Yeah, and yeah, it was one of those ones where it's a very rare album to find, and if you have a copy of it, floating around somewhere, you could make a pretty penny off of that.
Yeah,
you could actually sell it on eBay for, $30, $40.
There's probably a box of these sitting in a warehouse in Germany somewhere.
Yeah, or even like,
Did you just say yeah?
Yeah. And or even at like a Sam Goody in a mall or something like that. An FYE in the dark recesses of the stockroom at an FYE, you might be able to find 15 copies of looking for ... the best David Hasselhoff. That if you're working at FYE, you're making probably a little bit more than minimum wage. If you got 15 of those hanging out in the stock room, you could make yourself a week's wage with that probably if you go on eBay or you go on Amazon or you go on Discogs or something like that. Dance Dance D'Amour.
Yeah, I was just curious about this song.
Little one from 1993.
Dance Dance D'Amour.
Dance of Love.
Yep. Dance the Dance of Love.
Feel so right.
His voice is bad, right? I'm not wrong. Like,
I mean,
Me and my love.
He's not out of tune, but his phrasing is sort of monotone.
who is that in the background? They buried her really far in the mix.
He needs Michael McDonald on some of these songs to give it that little kick in the ass.
I'm looking for freedom.
So far, my observation is that every David Hasselhoff song either sounds like children's music from PBS or it sounds like the credits of an 80s comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even the credits of Baywatch.
Like, if you told me this is the credits of Uncle Buck.
Yeah. Like a little point here. This reminds me of another celebrity album that we actually discussed on this show, the Terry Funk album.
Yeah.
It's aimed at a foreign country.
Yeah.
All the songs sound like they're for children. They're made with a Casio keyboard.
Right.
Now,
Well, I'm smoking American cigarettes.
Drinking hot sake, but I still can't forget.
God, if that was him, if it was him singing Rapongi, I'd be like, oh, that fits right.
So, David Hasselhoff, what happened after this album, right? He had other albums. The one that I originally was going to talk about was David Hasselhoff Sings America, which was released in 2004. Now, in an interview.
So does he do Sister Golden Hair on that?
Well, no, he has. This is like.
Well, I've been through.
No, so when we talk about genre busting, this is all
I
over
understand you've been running from a man who goes by the name of the Sandman.
So he in an interview in Germany, he's asked what inspired him to do this album of standards, an album of
covers. Did he say
covers.
the devil?
No, he said he was inspired by 9/11.
Oh God!
So after 9/11, he was like, I need to do an album that covers the songs that encompass all of America. And in his words, from the East Coast to the South to New Orleans and he has a weird verbal intonation to the pop music of California and New York. This is all American to him. Let me just read the track listing.
This is the first I'm seeing of this track list, and this is insane.
City of New Orleans.
Arlo Guthrie song.
Yes. Rhinestone Cowboy.
Glenn Campbell.
You've Lost That Love and Feeling.
Yeah. That's
Isn't that a duet?
Normally, yeah. He's probably doing it with himself.
Forever in Blue
we all
Jeans.
are, really.
Yeah.
Blue Bayou. California Girls. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
BJ
California Dreamin'. These boots are made for walking. La Isla Bonita, which is one that's just kind of weird. Take Me Home, Country Roads.
No.
Love Me Tender. New York, Amazing Grace, America. And you know what? The orchestral version of the Knight Rider theme.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I guess "Love Me Tender" is the first one we have to.
I would say
right?
La Isla Bonita is actually one of the funnier.
Well, let's build up to Isla Bonita. Let's start with this is David Hasselhoff. Love Me Tender for some reason.
When those towers went down, I was tempted to cut some Elvis records too.
It's a natural reaction to trauma. I already hate it. He's just gonna sing it straight.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go.
I hate this so much.
I love it.
My life.
This is
awesome.
This is a quintessential celebrity album. This is the platonic.
Because it doesn't need to exist.
If I was a woman, I'd be flooding this chair, Rivers.
Well, let's see. His version of New York is pretty funny.
I'm sorry. Is this start spreading the news? New York, New York.
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait. Let's hear it.
Bum, bum, ba-da-da.
Start spreading the news.
No, these are all just the same.
Wham!
Razzmatazz. Here we go.
Start spreading the news.
Wait.
I'm leaving today.
I don't know. I'm not a musician. In my head, the point of a covers album is to do something different with the songs.
No, this album is David Hasselhoff doing karaoke. Yeah,
This was really good until the words started.
Yeah, because it's exactly the same composition as
everybody
the
else does
Sinatra
it.
version.
The very heart of it. New York, New
York. Sell it, man.
By the way,
Make it there.
I think somebody at Yankee Stadium should play a little prank that when the Yankees win, they should play the David Hasselhoff version of New York, New York versus the version of
the Sinatra one.
Sinatra one.
I hope it's a Red Sox fan that switches the record.
Well, okay.
Wait, listen to the little horn part. At least he's traded up to real instruments.
Yeah.
The budget was considerably higher on this release.
Yeah, I mean, he has a real orchestra in there. So there's
love it.
orchestral parts of like of Rhinestone Cowboy actually has like orchestral parts in it. But obviously La Isla Bonita, which if you look at all these songs, a lot of them are, your standards, your Glenn Campbell's, your
Right.
Neil Diamond's, all that sort of stuff. La Isla Bonita fits very strangely in this.
Yeah.
Come on,
Ooh. This sounds like Enrique Iglesias or something.
Yeah.
Bailamos!
Young girl with eyes like the desert. It all seems like yesterday.
Now, mind you, this is like a Madonna song, and it's one of Madonna's actually best songs.
I love this song. Yeah.
But this version is like, it's like really weird.
The way he sings everything. Have you ever heard like Donny Osmond sing like the songs from Mulan and stuff?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
It kind of reminds me of that the Pat Boone metal album a little bit. So that's kind of what that's the vibe I'm picking up from it. But
so as a coda to this, David Hasselhoff dreamed to be in Broadway. And
clearly, because that's that's what I was
the way in which he sings all of his songs.
Voice,
it's very much this sort of and he succeeded.
Yeah,
he was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on Broadway.
Right.
Yeah, so he actually made his dreams come true, even though it was in the beached part of his. It didn't end up being in his autobiography.
Did he get good reviews?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Broadway, but his dreams came true, and that's important. Right?
Yeah.
He wanted to do Broadway. He got sidetracked. He was doing all these other things. He was doing Knight Rider. He was doing Baywatch. He was doing Baywatch Nights, all that sort of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Baywatch Hawaii. But he found what he was looking for, and that was doing Broadway. And it all culminated in that moment. But as much as we kind of made light at David Hasselhoff singing, it is a classic celebrity album.
That's true.
And also, for me, it kind of worked its way into some very wonderful friendships and memories throughout my time on this earth. So, on a personal note, thank you, David Hasselhoff, for taking me to Hot Shots.
Oh, boy.
Let's face it, he was a hero to both America and the world.
Yeah.
Well, East Coast girls are hip.
I mean, when you really say, like, when people make the joke in Rocky IV, Rocky ended communism, I think a better case could be that David Hasselhoff ended communism.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree, but if they'd ever heard the Beach Boys version of this, there'd probably still be an Iron Curtain.
Hey, he tore down that Iron Curtain, which gets to the point that David Hasselhoff is the cultural interlocutor between the United States and Germany.
He's representing America over
He's
there.
the translator.
And
right?
making us look good, too.
Yeah.
If the ambassadorship to Germany wasn't such a, a sweetheart deal political appointment.
Which is given to, like, big-time contributors and something.
Exactly.
Give it to Hasselhoff.
Give it to Hasselhoff, man. He could actually get some shit done.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I guess he probably won't be in with Trump because he's friends with Marla, but maybe the next president. Yeah, maybe The Rock will send him
The Rock and Hasselhoff. I mean, they have the Baywatch connection from the recent.
Why are we ruling Hasselhoff out as next president?
Well, that's a fair point. Who knows?
Can he run for Chancellor of Germany?
No, but he can't run for president because he was born in Baltimore, raised in the South, because he's a Southern boy at heart. He is Mr. America, really. And I was happy that we had the opportunity to celebrate David Hasselhoff.
And a classic album.
And a classic celebrity album, perhaps the classic celebrity album. Two of them.
Yeah, really. One of the ones that I just wanted to throw out there as a possible one to do at some point is the one that Theme from New York, New York comes from, which is Frank Sinatra, Past, Present, and Future.
Yeah.
Which is is fucking insane because there's the future part of the album is all about Frank Sinatra flying to space and like orbiting Jupiter and shit. And I don't mean fly me to the moon. I mean literally just him being like,
how was I so high that I missed Frank Sinatra going into space?
He probably was launched. His frozen self was launched into space.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's that. But it's a 3-album collection, and the only hit from the album
was New York, New York.
From the present disc, and that's New York, New York. But the two on the
I'm in space.
It's literally him being like, "My name is Francis Sinatra, and I sing songs in saloons." It's butt fucking insane. We'll cover it.
It's
sometime.
amazing. But yeah, that's David Hasselhoff. So
absolutely, don't hassle the Hoff, and
you can find David Hasselhoff on social media.
Yeah, tweet at David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Tell him how much you love the episode.
Yeah.
See if we can get the retweet out there.
Yeah, David. Hey, David. Yeah, we said that maybe we were critical of some of the elements, but this is
we made a little fun.
But it was with love and with charm, and it was a good time.
You don't have a good voice, but neither does Leonard Cohen. Neither does Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
And your records are better than theirs because have their records ended communism? I don't think so.
It's not. No.
Absolutely.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/thegoodspod. We're on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Big shout out to our friend Richard Eden up there in the North Pole doing the hard work at thegoodspod.com. Pat, what should the folks do when they get to
they should rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, and give us some feedback. These deep dive episodes are kind of a new thing. So if you dig them, we can keep diving.
Yeah.
We can deep dive, wormhole, all that sort of stuff.
We've got some fun ones, I think.
We could do a few. But thank you for listening, and do all that because it shows the attitude of gratitude.
And if you don't have that attitude of gratitude, then fuck you.
And always remember that je t'aime means I love you. Song of the week this week, a little something funky, a little